Hey everyone, it's John Goodnight. Tonight I want to talk to you about Student Learning Outcome D. Student Learning Outcome D is defined in the English 120 syllabus as improving your fluency in the dialect of standardized written American English at the level of the sentence, paragraph, and document. I define Student Learning Outcome D as improving your writing to be more fluent in the English language. Student Learning Outcome D is a process that is throughout lifetime, always improving your English when writing. Starting out in preschool when you learn the alphabet, all the way to college classes where you learn sentence structure and improving your flow of your writing better. The best way to improve your sentence structure and writing process is practice. Practice constantly. And the best way to practice is writing a paper, having your peers review it, making those edits that your peers suggest, having it edited again until you eventually get a final product. This can allow you to identify weak points in your writing where you may need to improve your sentence structure, your flow, or your paragraph format. Another good way to progress towards Student Learning Outcome D is to give yourself time when writing. If you try to shove it all in at once, then you're going to have bad sentence structure and it's not going to flow very well because you're just throwing all your thoughts on a sheet of paper at the last minute. From personal experience, I noticed a huge difference in my grade when I procrastinate to the last minute and throw all my thoughts onto a piece of paper, and when I start early, get that paper peer reviewed, make the changes based on suggestions, and come out with a final product that is much better than just a bunch of thoughts on a paper. A place that I have improved in Project 3 in Student Learning Outcome D is when writing my public service announcement is how to include statistics to where it flows nicely inside the paper. Student Learning Outcome D is one of the most important student learning outcomes because it's something that you have to use your whole life, whether it be writing a memo for work, an email to your boss, or writing a senior research paper. Being a fluent writer is being an effective writer, and being an effective writer is being an effective student, employee, and person. A great thing about Student Learning Outcome D is it is something that you can always get better at. No one is ever a perfectly fluent writer. There is always somewhere in writing that can be improved upon. Some struggles that I face in Student Learning Outcome D is using the correct grammar, knowing when or when not to put a comma. Additionally, another struggle that I face is sentence flow. Sometimes my sentences sound awkward and I have trouble thinking of ways to make them flow better. But as I mentioned earlier, the best way to get over these struggles is through peer review and editing your paper. Throughout my academic career, I have improved greatly on Student Learning Outcome D. All the way from 7th grade, when a teacher told me flat out that my writing wasn't good enough, to my college career where I consistently get A's or B's on my academic paper. This proves that everybody can become a more fluent writer. When writing a paper, a good strategy to use to make sure that you're progressing towards Student Learning Outcome D is reading what you have written out loud. This is much more effective than just reading in your head because you will hear things that sound awkward and figure out how to improve that sentence to where it flows nicely. While it may sound weird to read out loud to yourself, it is very effective in becoming a better writer and having your writings be more fluent. Another important thing in improving your fluency in writing is understanding the genre of writing. The way the paper is going to flow is going to be different in a poem than in a legal document. A poem will be much more creative and flow differently than a legal document, with legal terms compared to rhymes and imagery used in a poem. Another thing to take into account is the audience. You want to use more basic writing that flows very simple and simplistic if you're writing for children, and not use very many large vocabulary words. Compared to if you're writing to a group of professors, you want to sound more professional and the flow will sound different. I hope you all found this video on Student Learning Outcome D useful and become a more fluent writer.